Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel once again. So in today's video I'm going to show you how we can paint flower fillers, and all these flowers are white in color. It is difficult to paint white flowers on the white sheet, but today I'm going to show you a couple of flowers which we can paint easily in the white sheet without any background. So sometimes it is difficult to create white color flowers without background. So let's learn first flower. I'm using very light shade of gray color and creating heart kind of shape for one single petal. So you can create multiple heart kind of structure and create 3 to 5 petals to make one single flower. Now this flower is not that much visible, but our intention is to create white flower. We cannot use white color, so that's why we are using gray color, which is also very light in shade. To start with, you can use darker shade of gray also, it's totally fine, but it is always good to use lighter shade of gray. And I am creating 3 to 4 flowers with the help of gray color, having heart shape of petals in it. Obviously you can use different flower pattern as well if you want to, but I'm using something like this for the first flower. And also keep one negative space between these flowers. You can keep the flower perspective different, keeping the petal shape little different from each other. Now at the center part of the flower I'm using yellow color. Totally fine. Ideally we should use different color around our white flower so that we can elevate our flower easily. So I have used yellow color for the center part of the flower. Then I'm using green color for creating leaves and stem. Because these are white in color, try to create more and more leaves around your flower and stems so that you can see white flowers clearly. We are not using any background, so these kind of structure is important when it comes to the white flower, and especially when you are using white sheet. And for the leaves I'm using simple one stroke leaves. So apply pressure into your brush a little bit, move your brush towards left and right and create these leaves. These are very simple, not fancy at all. You just need little practice around these one stroke leaves and you can easily paint this. Now I'm using hint of orange in between yellow, and we can move to the next one. So we are done with the first one, although I'm going to use pen to finish first one as well, but let it dry for couple of minutes. Meanwhile we can paint second one. So for the second one I'm creating random branch kind of structure having sub branches in it, but these are not tree branch, these are plants having multiple branches in it. So something like this you can create. Now you can create leaves as well. So I have started with the leaves and stem. For this particular one you can use any shade of green. For this one I'm using sap green color. For the first one I have used deep green, and then you can create fine longer leaves for this particular one. Now for the flowers again I'm using gray color and I'm tapping this gray color to create small round kind of shape having multiple dots in it. So these are the random small flowers in between this particular structure. So in this flower, the flower does not have any pattern as such. These are very fine flowers, so we cannot see the structure, but we can fill all the stems with these small flowers that we have. So once done, you can highlight few leaves in between if you want to. Also you can add a little bit of orange color in between your white flowers, but only few small dots of yellow if at all you want to. So we are done with the second one as well. Now this is also totally fine what we have done so far, but I'm going to use needle pen to draw an outline around my flowers and leaves. With this simple step you can elevate your white flowers easily without any background. So I'm not tracing everything with the help of pen. I'm just trying to highlight couple of area in between center part and petals and leaves with the help of pen. And then you can do the same thing for second flower as well. So in this one the flowers are very small, so I'm adding small round kind of pattern around my flowers. So that is all I can do with the help of pen. Although if you don't want to use pen, just avoid it. Keeping things with the help of watercolor is also totally fine. This is just an additional step to make your flower more elevated. Now let's move to the third one. Now in the third one, I'm creating a rose kind of structure. So I have started creating some spiral kind of pattern in the center. So this is the center part of the flower, and then on the outer area you can create few bigger petals. Again, I'm doing all these things with the help of gray color, but in this particular flower I'm also using hint of pink in it. Don't do too much. If you have added accidentally, you can lift some color with the help of tissue paper. So gray color is the flower color, but we can see little hint of pink in it, and then you can start creating bigger petal around it. So bigger petals are towards outside and a spiral kind of structure in between center part. Now you can do the same thing for second flower as well. So this time I'm keeping this particular flower smaller in size, so that's the only difference, although I'm repeating the same thing what I did in the first one. Hint of pink color gives you a very nice effect, so if you want you can use different color to highlight couple of the area, but it is optional, it is not necessary. Don't use very dark shade of gray, otherwise it will not look like these are the white flower. So try to avoid dark shade, use lighter shade of gray. Now again I'm creating sepals, stems and leaves. These are side perspective flowers, so you can add sepals as well at the base of each flower. So create a fine structures to create sepals, and in this one I'm creating bigger leaves having serration at the edges. So I'm tapping my brush to create serration around the edges of the leaf to make it look like these are the rose leaves. If you're not comfortable doing it, keep your leaves simple, having one stroke leaf or something like that, that is also fine. Now let's move to the fourth one. So in the fourth one, I'm keeping these flowers as ester flower, so having multiple petals around center part. I'm keeping the upper layer of the petals smaller and lower layer of the petals bigger. The petal structure is not bushier, so I'm keeping the petals at distance, and I'm also keeping one negative space at the center to create the center part of the flower. I'm repeating the same thing to create multiple flowers, and then with the help of yellow green color, so I have mixed green in the yellow, so this is more towards yellow you can say, but you can also see hint of green in it. And then you can create leaves, keeping leaves simple, having little longer one stroke structure in it. Now these are my flowers. With the help of brown color you can create center part of the flower, so you can fill the negative space that we have kept. While creating flowers you can use any color, I'm using brown color. These are my two more flowers having white color in it. Now again you can highlight couple of area with the help of pen. Again, I'm not tracing things, I'm just trying to highlight few petals, few center part of the flower, and you can do the same thing for leaves as well, just to elevate because these are white flower. If you don't want to do these things, you can especially avoid these things around your leaves, but if at all you like to do it for the flowers at least. Now I'm repeating the same thing for fourth one as well, especially for the petals that we have created. These are very fine petals, so once you highlight these things with the help of pen, you can see the flower structure very clearly. Now let's do for the leaves as well. You can create one center line with the help of pen, and that is all we can do. So we are done with the fourth flower. Now let's move to the fifth one. So for the fifth one, I'm trying to create multiple petals and bushier and multi-layered petals in it. I'm using little bit dark shade of gray, and I'm creating an oval kind of shape, keeping negative space in between to create center part of the flower. So that negative space is important, and this is side perspective of the flower, so I'm creating an oval kind of structure. Let it dry for some time, and then we are going to do the same thing again with the help of same shade of gray. Meanwhile, we can create stem. So again, with the help of green color, you can create stems and sepals, and you can also create leaves. I am creating 2 strokes bigger leaves for this one. You can keep leaves around the flower as well, but I'm not doing because our gray color is anyways very dark, so we can see our flowers clearly. Now with the help of gray color again, you can create multiple other petals. So once your previous colors have dried completely, you can do some overlapping of petals. Now you can use little hint of different color as well. So I am using hint of blue in the petal area. Again, this is optional. If you don't want to do it, use only gray color to paint white flowers. Now for the center part of the flower, I am using brown color and little hint of yellow around the brown color. So that's all we need for this particular flower. Now let's move to the last one. So last one is inspired by the lavender flower. Again, these flowers are white flowers, so I'm using gray color to create similar kind of pattern. So in a string, you can create petals left and right, keeping the petals little bigger on the lower side and smaller on the upper side to make a fine triangle kind of pattern. You can create multiple groups like this with the help of gray color itself, and then with the help of green color create middle stem wherein every petals are attached with each other. You can have multiple groups like this. I have kept 4 groups, few smaller, few bigger, and this flower I'm keeping the leaf shape smaller in size and only towards the stem. So you can do little variation around your flowers, and likewise you can create many other flowers. And let's do the last step with the help of pen for these 2 flowers as well. So I'm keeping the structure little bushier with the help of pen for this particular one. So create multiple small petals around your middle stem, left and right. You can also highlight leaves as well, and you can do the same thing for this particular flower as well. This flower has multiple petals in it, so you can highlight couple of petals with the help of pen, and that is how you can create many other flowers having white color in it on the white sheet itself. So hope you have liked it, and thank you so much for watching. See you guys in the next video.